I wanted to take you on a tour of one of the other Mark V S controllers called the Swipe. You may have watched the video on the touch controller that's installed on the Z machines. This is its smaller brother called the Swipe controller, and it's installed on smaller machines like the GA and the G. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can get a better picture of this. And we'll wake it up. All right. So this uses similar icons. Up in the right hand corner you got your power on. Next to it you'd have automatic operation, then a service LED, and then the warning LED. Those are all located at the top. At the bottom you have your very familiar on and off buttons. The screen itself is what has changed. So if you look at this screen, there's no touch to it. It uses these swipe bars instead. So you have a swipe bar on the left, a swipe bar on the right, and then one for horizontally swiping. You'll also notice the home button at the very top. It'll get you back to home screen. The swipe bars have different functions. The left-hand bar will let you swipe up and down through the various menu items. The horizontal bar beneath will let you swipe through different pages concerning that particular menu item. And when you get to a point where you need to change something, the right-hand swipe bar, actually you touch it to select, and then you scroll to change your value, and then you select enter. Now you'll notice I hit the small tab button at the bottom. What we have here is a bottom swipe, but also after we've selected an item, this is your OK and exit, these two little buttons. We'll show you more about that as we get deeper into the menus. Okay, so we're going to press our home button, go back home, and show you a little more about the main screen itself. On the left hand side you'll see a small gray slide indicator, and that basically just tells you where you're at in your vertical menu. So as you swipe through here you can see where you're at in the menu, right? And it's a wraparound type menu, so it'll come back to the home screen if you keep swiping down. On the bottom you'll see a number of page indicators. These dots indicate how deep you are in the menu on each particular item. So I can swipe to the right from the main screen, get to temperature, counters, ambient air conditions, pressure set points. I can choose between pressure set point 1 and 2. And I can manually unload this particular unit. And I think there's one more item, and that's just a status check mark, says everything's good. Now, in order to change through my vertical menu, I always have to get back to the beginning here. One quick way to get home is to press the home button. A couple other things to point out on the main screen. The serial number will always be located at the top. Upper right hand corner is your status or your access level indicator. Right now we're just a user level access. There's advanced, and there's also service access levels that will be depicted here with some different icons. Upper right hand corner, this tells you what type of operation mode you have. Right now this is in local control. If it were in LAN control you'd see the very familiar computer symbols there. Naturally a pressure readout here in the middle. On the left hand side you have a green scaling bar that basically indicates what your pressure is. Next to it you've got a small icon that's basically your status icon. This particular icon is telling me that the machine has stopped, not running, and it's not loaded. Now if we were to start this machine, you can see our green light came on up above. Machine started. And as the pressure falls, the machine will load. You can see it started. The symbol's got a little clock there. It has to run for a period of time before it'll load. Now you can see it's loaded. You have your familiar pressure symbol with an arrow going into it, and the machine will build pressure. to a point it unloads. You can see the unload symbol changes. And it'll run and load for a period of time and then stop. Okay, so from the main screen, you'll notice we are in user access. In order to see some additional menu items, you got to have service access. I'm going to go ahead and change that so that we can take a look at everything. So we're going to go down to controller settings. I said controller settings, and then we're going to swipe over to user access. I'm going to touch my right hand bar to select. I'm going to change it to service access and say OK. It's going to ask for a password, which is top secret. You'll notice I choose the first digit, hit the OK button, it transfers to the second digit, and I just move it around here until I get to the right number. And I'm now changed to service access. So we'll go back here. Oh, got to go back one more page. There we go. Back home. All right, now let's take you through some of these settings. We'll go to the first one, which is the information screen. First screen basically tells you who to contact. Default comes out Atlas Copco. I changed this one to Beacon Medeiros. This is something a technician can change in the field. The next page is information on the controller itself, its MAC address, etc. So we'll go back, we'll swipe down one more. Controller settings. In controller settings we have our service access we just changed. We also have language. We have our units of measure. So we can scroll through these and look at those. We have our CAN settings. CAN is off on this one. I don't have it set up on a network, but that's how you would change those. We have Ethernet settings, and we have the display timeout. The next menu item is the service menu. In here we have the next visit. Next service visit is 4,000 hours on this machine. The safety valve test is not allowed on this particular machine. Some machines do have that available. And we have service plan, which gives you the ability with the right level of access to change some of your service intervals. Go back to home. The next menu item is data. So this is pretty much just informational items, running hours, counters, your inputs. So good information here. Inputs, temperatures, pressures, etc. And your outputs, and basically status of output contacts. Our next menu item is auxiliary equipment. Now this particular machine is a workplace compressor, so no internal dryer, but we'll look and see what is here, and it says active antenna. This is basically your smart box information. So there is a smart box built into this controller, the same as the touch. Next menu item is, all right, come on, see where I put you. Machine settings. You have set point 1, set point 2, which set point is used in your regulation, control mode. Here is where you'd go from local to LAN control. If I wanted to change that, I would select it by touching the right hand bar. I would scroll on the right hand bar to choose my operating mode, and then confirm by pressing the check mark button. Now let's change it back. Select, scroll, and confirm. The next menu item is automatic restart. To change this, we'll select, we'll enter our secret code, 4, confirm, 7, confirm, 3, confirm, 5. We will change to activated and confirm that. Am I sure? Yes, I am sure. You'll notice we also have a restart delay we can select. In order to scroll through a menu item, you use the left-hand bar. To select it, you touch the right-hand bar. Scroll on the right-hand bar to change your time. Confirm. Remaining menu item are control parameters. These are things that you normally wouldn't mess with. We'll go back to the beginning of this menu. And now we're back home. All right, back at the home screen, I wanted to show one other thing. You can see this new symbol showed up. We turned the automatic restart after voltage failure. We turned that feature back on. So anytime that's active, you should see that icon appear. One last comment here. This bar across the top, I mentioned it has the serial number in it. As you go through menu items, it's going to actually give you explanations of what you're looking at. When the machine's running, it may say load or unload. So it's really just a descriptive bar that helps you understand where you're at. That's pretty much it for this controller. They've got a pretty good manual that explains all the icons. Don't be afraid to use it. Thank you.